established Rich coming right back at you. Today, I need you to step back from your feelings for a minute. Get rid of your feelings about Trump and about Nicki Minaj. Just step back and look at this like a chess move, because I think that's exactly what this is, a chess move. And most people are trying to understand it as a political move, like it's a cultural issue or a loyalty issue. And it ain't none of that. It's a power play, and it's happening right in front of us.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's gonna motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen.
Nicki Minaj, the same Nicki Minaj who built her voice as the misfit, as the outsider, as the person who never fit in, is now standing next to the President of the United States, holding his hand, smiling for cameras, calling herself his #1 fan. And people are confused because they can't figure out what her real motivation is. And when you can't figure out someone's motivation, you missed the move. So let me help you see it. This is what happens when an artist realizes they rap chapter is closing and they refuse to fade away with it. We all know rap has an expiration date. No matter how great you are, no matter how many hits you got, no matter how loyal your fan base is, there comes a point when you are no longer the center of the culture. And for a person who spent their whole career being #1, that reality is unacceptable. And Nicki Minaj refuses to be a legend that people talk about in the past tense. So what do you do when you can't be #1 in rap no more? You walk into a room where nobody from rap is. Politics, access, power. See, people think this is about supporting Trump. It's not. This is about standing next to power. This is about being in rooms that rappers never get invited into. This is about long-term relevance. And whether people like it or not, it's strategic. Very strategic. Now let's talk about something people don't want to touch. Nicki Minaj was not born in the United States. She is from Trinidad. And that matters because her relationship with America is different. She don't see this country through generational trauma. She sees it through opportunity. She came here, built a fortune here, built a career here. So her view of power, of politics, of alliances is practical, not emotional. And that's why this move makes sense to her. She ain't moving from a culture mindset. She's moving from a survival and positioning mindset. And people don't seem to realize that. Now let's add another layer, her husband and her brother. I'm not accusing her of asking for anything, but I'm asking you this. If you were in her position, wouldn't you want to be on good terms with the one man who has the power to help you if you ever get in a tight situation? Just think, not as a fan, not as a hater, as a human. Wouldn't you want that ally? That's not political. That's smart because she understands something most artists don't. Grammys don't protect you. Hit records don't protect you. Your fans don't protect you. Power does. Access does. Relationships do. And she's building one with the most powerful office in the country. But here's the gamble. Rap fans forgive bad music. They do not forgive political alignment. And that backlash is going to outlast any benefit she gets right now. And I don't think she even cares. Because in her mind, she ain't trying to win the rap game no more. She trying to win the long game. And whether you agree or not, you gotta admit, it's a calculated move. And that's why everybody is uncomfortable. Now let's talk about why this feels so strange to so many people. It's not just that Nicki is standing next to Trump. It's that Nicki used to stand somewhere else. She was once seen as an ally to people who felt different, people who felt left out, people who felt misunderstood. She was the voice of the outsider, the kid who didn't fit the mold. And now she's standing next to the most polarizing figure in modern day politics. That shift is what's throwing people off because it feels like the person they supported ain't the same person anymore. But here's the part people are missing. She ain't changed. Her environment did. Her position did. Her priorities did. And when a person reaches a certain level of power, that loyalty shifts from culture to security. See, when you're trying to build a name, you stand with your people. When you already built your name, you stand with power. That's a different game. And that game has nothing to do with rap. This is about legacy protection, financial protection, social protection. And whether people like it or not, That's how the upper levels move. Now add this layer. She just came off a period where the rap game didn't treat her like it used to. The Grammys, the awards, the new female rappers rising. It's a shift in the culture. She's still great, but she's no longer the center of attention. And for someone who has spent a decade at the center, that's a hard adjustment. So what do? You find a new stage, a bigger stage, a stage where nobody can compete with you. Politics is that stage. There are no other female rappers standing next to the president. There are no other artists in that room. She just created a whole new lane that only she occupies. And that's why this is genius and dangerous at the same time. Genius because it guarantees relevance. Dangerous because it guarantees backlash. Now here's the part people really don't want to say out loud. Rap fans are emotional. Politics is not. Rap is about loyalty, culture, feelings. Politics is about power, relationships, and positioning. And she just chose positioning over perception, which means she's already accepted that some people are gonna walk away from her. And she's okay with that because she playing a different game now. Now think about this. If you were her, with her status, with her money, with her family history, wouldn't you want to be one phone call away from the most powerful man in the country? Not for politics, for protection. That's not about love. That's not about belief. That's about insurance. And Nicki Minaj is insuring her future. But the cost of that insurance is her rap image. And she know it. She's trading culture currency for political currency. And most artists are scared to do that. At the end of the day, we still don't know why Nicki Minaj is doing this. And that's the part that makes people uncomfortable. People want a clean answer. They want to say, she sold out, she lost, she desperate. But life is never that simple. People do things for reasons that don't fit in a tweet. And sometimes the real reason is a combination of 10 different things. But here's what I do know. An entertainer endorsing a politician should never hit us as hard as it does. Because at the end of the day, she's an entertainer. She ain't a policymaker. She's not a law writer. She's not a senator. She makes music. But we live in a time where celebrities have more influence than elected officials. And that's why this feels bigger than it actually is. Now let me give you another angle. What if this ain't about Trump at all? What if this is Nicki Minaj realizing that rap is a young man's game and she is positioning herself for life after rap? What if she's moving into a space where age don't matter? Politics, business, branding. What if she's thinking 20 years ahead instead of 2 albums ahead? That changes how this looks because rap fans are looking at this through a hip hop lens. She may be looking at this through a long-term life lens. Now here's the truth that nobody likes to admit. If you had a chance to have a direct line to the president of the United States, would you turn it down because people on the internet wouldn't like it? Be honest with yourself, because most people wouldn't. Most people would say, I don't agree with everything he does, but having access is not a bad thing. And that may be all this is. Access. Not love, not belief, not ideology, just access to the president. And that's a different conversation. But here's where the consequences come in. A president is in office 4 years. Your reputation lasts a lifetime. And that's the gamble she's taking. The benefits she gets right now may not outweigh how people remember this 10 years from now. And that's what most people are trying to warn her about. But shit, she a grown woman. She's smart. She's calculated. She know exactly what she's doing. And she's decided that it's worth it, whether we agree or not. And maybe the real lesson in all of this is not Trump. Maybe it's about how people evolve, people change, how people's priorities shift when they reach a certain level, and how uncomfortable it makes us when they don't stay the people we remember them as. Nicki Minaj is no longer trying to be the voice of rap culture. She's trying to be something else. And we watching that transition in real time. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, it's confusing, but it's real. And whether this helps her or hurts her, only time will tell. But one thing is certain, she has put herself in a position where every move she makes going forward is going to be looked at through a political lens. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, establish rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.